Hello, Algebra. What we're going to do today is continue our conversation about standard form. We had completed some of our notes. Looking here again at what standard form is, we know that standard form is ax plus by equals c. We know that a, b, and c have to be integers. That means no fractions and no decimals. We know that a and b cannot both be 0, and a must be a positive value. So that's refreshing what standard form is. We had completed some of these notes. We're going to continue on with this next example. This equation that we have right here is written in slope-intercept form. To change it to standard form, we want it to be in the form ax plus by equals c. So to get it there, the first thing I'm going to do is, because I have a negative 4/5 x, I'm going to add 4/5 x to both sides. Now, y plus 4/5 x is an unlike term, but I'm going to strategically write 4/5 x first because I want the x term to come first. And that's going to give me negative 7 on the other side. Now, the next thing is that I've got x and y on the same side, but I don't want the 4/5. I don't want a fraction. A, b, and c must all be integers. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 5. The 5 gets distributed in, and that gives me 4x plus 5y equals negative 35. So let's analyze. I've got x and y on the same side. I've got a, b, and c are all integers, and a is positive. So this is my equation in standard form, where a is 4 because it's the coefficient of the x term, b is 5, it's the coefficient of the y term, and c is negative 35. Okay, let's go to the next example. We're going to write this equation in standard form. Right now it's in slope-intercept form. And so I'm going to get the x term on the other side. It's a positive 7/2, so what I'm going to have to do is subtract 7/2 x. That's going to give me a negative 7/2 x plus y equals 1/4. The next thing I want to do is get rid of the fraction. You can see that I've got a 2 in a denominator here, and I've got the 4 in the denominator here. You take the greatest of those values, the least common multiple. 2 and 4 both go into 4, so I'm going to multiply both sides by 4, distribute that 4 in, and I get 4 times 7/2. Well, 2 goes into 4 twice, so it gives me negative 14x plus 4y equals 1, because 1/4 of 4 is 1. Still solving here in standard form, I want ax plus by equals c. I've got the x and the y on the same side. I don't have any fractions or decimals anymore, but I do have an a value that's negative. So the next thing I want to do is multiply through by negative 1. That's going to give me 14x minus 4y equals negative 1. Now I've got my equation in standard form, where a is 14, b is negative 4 because there's a positive in the equation, so that negative is with the 4, and c is negative 1. Let's do one more example. Here it is in slope-intercept form. Let's put it in standard form. It's a negative 2/3 x, so I'm going to add 2/3 to both sides, 2/3 x. So this is going to give me 2/3 x plus y equals 11. So I've got x and y on the same side, and I want to get rid of this fraction. So I'm going to multiply through by the common denominator of 3. There are no other fractions other than that 1. I'm going to distribute that 3 in so it's legal. And 2/3 of 3 is 2. So I get 2x plus 3y equals 33. I've got a, b, and c are integers. I've got a is positive, so this is my equation in standard form, where a is 2, b is 3, and c is 33. And that was it for our notes. What I would like you to do now is to work on that worksheet that you have for class.